Okay, so now we're starting to get into an opponent that's either going to start out standing or they were able to get to the standing position in whatever form of a butterfly guard we had before we were able to counter it. Okay, so for example, if I'm here, butterfly half, obviously, if he's starting to step up in more of a slow manner, we can counter it with either 2-on-1 grips on the arms or scooping the far leg. But if he hops up pretty quick, it's going to be kind of hard to do one of those two. Okay, so the first standing guard we're going to be covering is reverse daily Riva. Okay, so reverse daily Riva is going to be controlling the lead leg with my inside hip. Okay, I'm on my inside hip. Outside hip is going to be daily Riva style of guard, which we'll get into. Okay, so inside hip. Another way to think of it is where his leg orientation is. If it's across hamstring style of passing, like knee cut and whatnot, that's going to be reverse daily Riva. If it's going to be straight hamstring, coming straight up the middle, it's going to be more daily Riva. Okay, so for the positioning for reverse daily Riva, we're going to be controlling the ankle, probably the most important part. If we don't do that, they just turn and kick out. Okay, so we're going to be controlling at the Achilles or down at the heel. The top side leg is going to be controlling the near side hip. Okay, my toes are facing inside instead of outside. Toes are inside here. Inside leg is going to be hooking this near side leg. So I have a push and I have a pull. Okay, now as you see, my orientation is looking towards that far side hip. I'm not looking up towards the ceiling. We're going to look towards that hip. Okay, first sweep we're going to go for all the time. Anytime our opponent is square is the tripod. Okay, so go ahead and step that leg back a little bit more. Anytime their hips are facing you or almost facing you, we can do this. Whenever they're completely bladed, like 180 degrees for their hips, we're going to be going for something different. Let's step forward a little bit. Okay, so for this sweep, I'm going to grip with the heel. I'm going to lift my hips off of the mat with my foot here and pull with the ankle and drive my knees towards that far leg. And as you see, I'm also bridging on this bottom shoulder. That way I can reach really deep to catch this leg. Even if this base is really wide, so step back more in like a 45, even more. Good. I can still reach this leg. Whereas if I'm just kicking here, as you see, just my toes touch his knee, that's not going to do it. Okay, so I'm bridging. So think of poking your knees to that far leg here. Now I'm going to kick behind his knee instead of at the ankle. Most people say the ankle, but this is so easy to backstep out of. Here, try to backstep, very difficult, okay? Once we capture the knee, I'm gonna rotate everything towards the outside by pushing on the hip, but the most important thing is pulling this ankle. I'm pulling the whole time and rotating out. And I'm looking to rotate and create momentum to come up to my elbow and to my hand, and we land in this position. If I try to come up here, and even though I have the ankle, his knee can go down to the mat, and he can start to build up, and now we got more of an even scramble here. So to prevent that, as soon as we land here, my leg is pummeling from the behind the far knee to the outside of the near knee, okay? And I'm looking to kick this leg through, I'm looking to win head height, and I'm looking to pull this ankle up to my hip, okay? That way now when he tries to get his knee down to the mat, it's more difficult. I can look to pass, or I can look to go in to leg locks. Okay? So again, here, bridging, kicking, rotating everything to the outside. Gonna pummel and come to that top position. Okay? The second sweep we're going for is the reverse tripod. Don't really know a name for this, so just came up with reverse tripod. Okay, so we're here. Let's say that Joel either pushes that foot off or his elbow is tight to his hip that I can't get that foot there. This foot that is hooking this near side leg is going to go to the far hip. I'm looking to pull with his Achilles and heel and push down on that far hip and lift my hips up. It's almost like I'm pushing lifting my butt on top of his knee. I want to continue to push that direction, pull with the Achilles here to straighten his leg. The sweep does not work with a bent leg. While I'm also doing that, I'm doing an outside
high leg here, and I'm kicking down towards the mat and rotating out to the outside, just like I did with my tripod finish. And when I do that, it makes them fall into this space here. And again, now instead of hooking the far leg, we're pushing the far leg, but it's going to be the same exact finish to the top. Okay, so do that one more time. Here, he pushes it off, lift, push, rotate. Comes to the top position. Okay? How this combination is going to look. So we're into here, we pull tripod, immediately want to go for this. Okay? But let's say he pushes that outside hip off, I'm immediately going to this here. But let's say I'm going for this and I can't get the leg straight. Alright? He has to step back forward again. So we're just going to be patient in this time. I'm going to focus on keeping my knees close to my chest. As soon as he steps back forward, I'm rotating my hips to the inside, I'm looking to the far hip. My foot goes to the hip here, and we're looking at tripod again. Okay? So again, if I'm here and he's hand fighting my legs, I'm in here, and say he pushes that leg off, I'm into here like this, okay? So we're going back and forth. Be patient in this position. They have to engage, okay? When they go completely bladed, that's going to open up things that are further into the series. But just try to move around a little bit, like try to fight my legs off. Okay. Thing I'm looking for the most for tripods, especially when they're bladed, is this back leg stepping forward again. Okay. So that's going to be our combination for now. We got follow-ups, especially when they're coming in more for knee cut style positioning. We'll address that as the weeks go on.